encouragement on her journey of hopefully healing. Okay, I hope you guys like my glasses. Don't you like the glasses? Okay, compliments of Voo Glam. Okay, so our good sis says, my husband and I have been having problems for almost a year. I went through terrible postpartum after our second child, and I went into a silent depression. And when I finally opened up, the shock made my husband incapable of being there for me in the way that I needed. In turn, I sank deeper into my depression and went off the deep end, trying to get him to help me in any way, including trying to keep him from having any personal time and space. A few months after I disclosed my struggles, he developed a friendship with a female co-worker, and it turned into an affair that went on for 6 months. I knew something was off, and I confronted him multiple times, and he lied and made me feel crazy for months. After I finally got the truth and the proof, everything went bottoms up, and our fighting and communication got even worse. For a little while, he attempted to say he wanted to fix things and work on us and stay together. Now, over a month later, we have been doing nothing but fighting with each other and not being able to communicate. We are trying to find a couples therapist, and he told me 3 days ago that he thinks he wants a divorce, and at the very least, for now, a temporary separation. Okay. The reason he wants this, though, are because he says we can't communicate. I don't listen to his feelings or care, and because he's not sure that he can continue in a monogamous relationship because he believes in polyamory. I'm at a complete loss, and I'm utterly crushed. I love him so much, and I want us to stay together, but neither of us can see how. He is going to therapy, and so am I, and we went to couples counseling, but we went to do couples counseling. We just haven't found the right one yet. What should I do? What should you do? If you're just not tuning in, our good sister has been ambushed by the act of betrayal by her husband. Come to find out, he's been frolicking with a woman at the job. This is nothing new. We have always discussed things of this nature over here at DivaSpeaks. Relationships. You know, I've said it one too many times that the workplace is where most affairs happen and where most people go to cheat in peace. And our good sister's situation is one of those examples. So our good sister fell into a deep depression and was suffering from postpartum, and her husband during this time decided to not support her, not assist her in getting better and getting the help that she needed to bounce back from having the baby. Instead, what he did is ran into the arms of another woman that he worked with. According to our good sister, this affair went on for 6 months. For 6 months, he made her think that she was crazy. And you know what? From my experience, that's what cheaters typically do to the one that they're in a relationship with, is try to gaslight you and make you think that you're crazy. Nothing's happening. You're being insecure. This is not about them. This is about you and your insecurities and your imagination running amok, but never owning up to the fact that they are stepping outside of the relationship. And this is what this woman is experiencing right now. So after her husband gets caught, initially he tells her that he wants to salvage the marriage. They need to work things out. But she says in just a short amount of time, he has changed his heart posture, and now at the very least he wants a temporary separation. He's thinking he wants a divorce from our good sister because he says he no longer subscribes to the ideology of being monogamous. He believes in he wants polyamory. Okay, he doesn't want to be with one person. This husband, okay, this family man, no longer wants to be faithful to his wife. He's gotten himself in an entanglement with a woman at the job that has left him confused and wanting to abandon his marriage and go on with his life, leaving his wife devastated, okay? Leaving behind a broken home, leaving behind a trail of tears, and not giving thought to how this is going to impact a woman who was already suffering from depression, a woman who he left to attend to her to her own needs, okay, to lick her own wounds, to try and seek help and get better all by herself while being married to him. He thought so little of his wife that he went out and he, I guess, started talking to a woman at the job, okay, sharing little intimate details about his life, because I'm imagining that's what he was doing, and then got himself into a full-blown affair that's gotten him wanting to walk away from his wife. And our sister is devastated, and any spouse, any woman would be, especially after having a baby. My good sister, I know you don't want to hear this, and I truly, sincerely wish there was a way that I could hold your hand while I tell you this. Your husband is demanding a temporary separation, at least, because he wants to go test the waters with this woman that he is now involved with at his job. Your husband knows what life is with you. He has experienced life and living life and doing life with you. This other woman that he has gotten himself involved with, that he has been having an affair with for the past 6 months, is new. It's new. He's acting on emotion because they work together. They see each other every day. And he wants to take that leap of faith. He does. He wants to go and experience her outside of the workplace, uninhibited, in a way that allows him to express himself to her and to take the relationship to the next level if it can go there. That's how interested and invested this husband of yours seems to be into this affair partner that he has gotten himself, okay? Your husband is so invested in that illicit affair that he's having with that tramp on the job that he is willing to sacrifice and jeopardize a life with you in order to have that, or to be able to at least try it out. You see, what he's doing is giving you hope and pulling it back. He's trying to leave the door open, but yet he wants to have his cake and eat it too, okay? A man that was truly committed to his family, any spouse, forget the gender, any spouse that is committed to salvaging their marriage after their partner has discovered their infidelity, their indiscretion, should be, at bare minimum, doing all that they can to make amends. To make amends with their spouse, to make amends for the offenses, to make amends for the lies, the cheating, the gaslighting, everything that was done behind your back, coming clean, taking steps to rebuild the marriage and or the relationship. But that's not what your husband is doing. Your husband wants a divorce because he wants to take a coward's way out, and he really wants to go and experience this other woman. Don't stand in his way, sis. Don't stand in his way. Let that man go be with the woman that he is breaking your heart behind. Let that man go and be with that woman, okay, that he has gotten himself involved with. Because that man will continue to dog you out until he gets what he wants and gotten this woman out of his system. Sister, if you try and fight for this marriage while this man is in this particular mindset, it's only going to hurt you. It's only going to damage you. It's only going to send you spiraling back into depression, because he's not ready to make amends. He's not ready to give her up. He's not ready to see anything wrong that he is doing. What he wants is out so he can continue to do it. You get that? You can't work on your marriage or your relationship with a person who is constantly causing damage to the relationship, but yet sees no wrong in what they're doing. I've said this a million times. You can't restore or reconcile with a person, okay, if they don't want it, okay? He doesn't want it. He wants out. And I would encourage you to find a way to find peace with that. Let that man go be with that woman, because I can guarantee you this is, if you try to hold on to him right now, if you try to force him into trying to work it out with you, even if he lets her go, number one, he still works at the job with his woman. And if it's not that woman, it'll be another woman. because again, he sees nothing wrong in what he's doing, and he's making no effort to correct his behavior, which is hurting the marriage and you, right? I would encourage you to continue to work on yourself. Get the help that you need to deal with your postpartum depression. Don't put so much faith in him doing the right thing by you in this season of his life. I keep saying it, right? I should trademark the little phrase. If you can't trust your partner to go to work, if you can't trust your man, your significant other, your woman, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your sweetie, your honey, your lover, whoever this person is to you, to take their behinds to work and just work and not sit up at the job and participate in illicit affairs, not cheat on you behind your back, and not disgrace the relationship, that is not a partner that you should be in a relationship with. And this man has placed you in that position where he can't be trusted to go to work. And if you insist on working it out with him right now, he still works at the same job with this woman. So can you really trust him to be working with a woman that he's been having an affair with behind your back for 6 months, and to the point that he wants to leave you because of her? This is not a good time to try and reconcile with him and try to work things out with this man. I think this is the perfect season for you to get in touch with yourself and work on yourself. So as I wrap up this particular edition of Talk That Talk with DivaSpeaks Relationships, again, we have one of our family members, a good sister, who has been ambushed by her spouse with the act of betrayal, and she discovered the truth, and she's not handling it so well. She was going through postpartum depression shortly after having their second child, and her husband was nowhere to be found when she needed support. Instead, he ran to the arms of another woman. And guess where he met her? Of course, at his job, right? So our sister says that he denied it and made her feel crazy for 6 months, 6 whole months. He made her feel crazy, like she was making it up, right? And come to find out, she was right all along. He was having an affair with the woman at the job, and once he got busted, he doesn't want to really work it out. What he wants to do is, keep one foot in the door with our good sis and go and explore that relationship with that other woman, right? He tells our good sister that he no longer believes in being monogamous, that he wants to be polyamorous. And at the bare minimum, he thinks that the two of them should get a temporary separation. The separation is only so he can go and really experience that woman in a way that doesn't, require him to be secretive about their relationship. He wants to take it to the next level with this woman while leading our good sister on, making her think that there's hope for that marriage. But, she explains in her letter that they've been shopping around for therapists and a couples counselor in an effort to mend their broken marriage. But I see the problem being him and not being able to exercise self-control, not being able to take his behind to work and just work. Instead, he needs to work on himself, right? But he's dragging her along for that journey, giving her false hope just in an effort to keep her around if that doesn't pan out with that other woman. And I'm telling our good sister, let that man go and disappoint that woman. Let that man go and be with the woman that he is breaking your heart behind, because this man is no good. Instead of owning up to what he's done, he wants out so he can go do and be him. Let him go and be who he wants to be with her. Work on yourself. Love yourself. Find out what's driving you to spiral out of control with that depression. And if it was truly postpartum, still seek counseling and find out tools and resources that you can use to improve your own quality of life with or without this man. Whatever you decide to do with your marriage or your husband is totally your business, but I need you to understand what he's doing, which is not right by you. I am woman enough to tell you that I know firsthand what it is to try and wrap your mind around the betrayal, a failed relationship, a failed marriage, and having to come to terms with the fact that this marriage is going to end in a divorce while you are still in love with that spouse or that person that you're in a relationship with. That is one of the hardest things that you can go through as an adult, romantically, is having to go through the separation, the divorce, unraveling, uncoupling with that person while your heart is still there. The focus is still, them. They have center stage in your heart. That is the hardest thing that you can do. But I'm telling you, woman to woman, that it can be done, because you cannot be the only person in the ring fighting for a marriage or a relationship. It takes two people to put in intentional efforts in fixing the problems and being very strategic and intentional with your efforts to make it work. It takes more than one person to do that. And if the other person wants out while your heart still yearns for them, you have to make a conscientious choice. I'm going to have to let this go. I need to let this go. This is not healthy for me to try and hold on. This is hurting me. They're hurting me. I'm hurting myself by continuing to have this hope, this unrealistic hope that this person is going to come to their senses. Let me tell you, I know about that firsthand, but let me tell you something, good sister. On the other side of that is something amazing, something that you could not have even imagined. If you let that go, I can almost assure you that things will get better for you, that a love that you never thought would walk into your life will come in like a flood, that you won't have room enough to receive that type of love and respect and loyalty and commitment and attraction and passion and desire. It's there. Once you get rid of the riffraff, the person that meant you no good, love is out there, my good sister. Love is out there, my friend. This has been Talk That Talk with Diva Speaks Relationships. My name is Angela Patareal. Until the next time, the Diva has spoken.